Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Dream. Today I'm sitting down with my good friend, content creator, Timmy Gregson. Timmy, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
I start every podcast off asking, what is your first memory of Porsche?
So, to be honest, my first memory of Porsche was seeing them and thinking, oh, that's an old man's car. And they didn't jump out at me. They weren't like super flashy. But over time, as I've obviously driven a lot of them now, and I've kind of grown to love them more than any other car. They don't have like the...
We appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. Like it's the Lamborghinis, the Ferraris, the McLarens, amazing cars as well. I think those are more like showy, flashy, like, hey, look at this car I got. Porsche is a driver's car. Like, it wasn't until I drove my first 911 and I was like, oh, I get it.
Yeah, there's an emotion attached to it. I've talked about it lots on the podcast. It really is. And those for people that don't know you, that are watching the podcast, when I think of cars, I think of you. You're one of the top three guys. You do an incredible job, a ton of content with cars, all of the ones that you've mentioned, Ferraris, Lambos, you name it, you're out there shooting it. It's your lifestyle almost to a certain degree, I would say. It seems like you're doing it, well, I follow your social media, it seems like you're doing it every day.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? Where did that start, just getting into that side of it?
So, we could go way back. When I was growing up, mountain biking was my entire life. And that was like my sense of freedom. You know, I could leave my house, my parents weren't on my tail about anything, and I could just get out, explore, and kind of see the world, I guess. And as we got older, my friends started buying cars, and I had my best friend's older brother was like super into cars. He was always building stuff, and I saw their love go from mountain biking to cars, and I hadn't really made that switch yet. So it was like I felt left out, and started researching cars. I started looking at more cars online, and just like, this is back in, early 2000s, so there wasn't a whole lot out there.
Yeah.
But then I started to grow a genuine love for cars. I was like, man, something about them, like same idea. I think it came down to the mountain biking freedom kind of thing. And then I got my license when I was 16. I started driving and I was like, oh man, I don't even want to go home ever. I just want to keep driving around. All I want to do is explore and find new roads and find new cool places. Because biking, you're so limited. You can't go far, right? Like,
Far as your legs will take. Well, now you can get those electric ones, but back then there wasn't electric bikes, so a little different back then.
Yeah, so it kind of just grew into this thing where cars equal freedom, and I've always been an adventurer. I like exploring, and I think cars were like the best medium for that, to allow me to actually go out and see the world. And you put on a good song, good playlist, throw on a podcast, whatever, and just go exploring. And I don't know, it's funny, it goes back to Porsche. Like I saw in 2016, I saw a GT3 RS driving around here, and I was like, what was that? I had no idea, because I had seen the older GT3 RS.
We weren't here yet, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't know a lot of cars back then. I was just like, oh, fast car, that's cool, right?
Big wing.
Exactly, yeah. But when I saw the GT3 RS, I was like, bro, I need one of those. It's just the one car that really caught my attention. And it hit different than I'd seen Lamborghinis and Ferraris and stuff, but there's something when I saw the Porsche, I was like, oh, this car speaks to me. Looks beautiful, sounds amazing. It looks like a race car for the road. I'd never seen that before. And then I started doing more homework. I was like, what is this car? And then I found out obviously the 997s and the GT3 RS lineage kind of that was the first 991, I assume, of that. And I just made it my life's mission to get one of those cars. I needed one. And obviously that rolled into the content, because I was like, how can I get around people who own these cars?
That's how it came. That's what the next question I was going to ask, is where it came from. Wow.
Yeah. So I knew in order to get in the room with people who could spend $400,000 on a car, they knew something I didn't know, and I didn't have any value that I could give them, or so I thought. And then I was like, how can I get in the room with these people? And this was probably 2018, 2019. And I was like, I need to be able to provide them with something that they're not getting. But what is that? And I always had a camera from mountain biking and stuff. So I knew how to use a camera, and I went through a rough patch from 2014 to 2016. And camera, photography, whatever you call it, was kind of like my escape. And I had a Honda Civic at the time, but I literally couldn't afford to put gas in it and go drive and explore. So I had the camera, and I went out and I started taking pictures of stuff. And I remember I was downtown one day and I saw a red Gallardo. Started taking pictures of that, and I was like, oh, these are cool. Like, started getting different angles, like getting the wheel shots, get the interior shots, and then I was like, okay, I see an opportunity here. There's all these nice cars in town. I think there was a couple guys in town that were doing automotive photography, but like they weren't blowing up by any means, or they weren't like shooting with everyone in town. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna dedicate my life to getting as good as I can at this, so I can stand out from the crowd and offer these people cool photos of their car, right? Because they work so hard to get the things they have. They want to be able to put it up on their wall in their garage, and you know, a lot of these people sell and buy new cars all the time.
Absolutely, as often as they can.
Yeah, and like you said, you develop an emotional connection with the cars. So let's say you work 10 years to buy a 3RS, and then you drive it for 2 years and you decide to sell it, you want to get something else, whatever. You still want to have memories of that car. And what better memory than a kick-ass photo of them ripping down the road or getting out of the car and walking away with this beautiful background.
Well, today with social media as well, showcasing your car, showing off your car on social media, that's even more of a draw, I bet you, for just kind of like the right now people. You do so much of it. I see it all the time. And I know a lot of the clients that you work with doing photo shoots and that of their vehicles.
Yeah.
That's a pretty incredible story. I didn't know actually that's how it came about. What do you remember when we did our collaboration, when you and I did our drive in the Taycan down to Vancouver?
I'll never forget that.
I think it was it 2021?
That, the year I might forget. I don't know. I think it was because it was right as COVID hit, because I remember everything kind of shut down.
Yeah.
There wasn't Taycans driving everywhere, and we're like, how can we capitalize on the cars we have here? And it must have been 2021-ish.
It was so much fun. Shout out to Noah Dorsey, who did all the editing and just all the videography for us. It just turned out so cool. I mean, I'd never done anything like that. For those that don't know, it is on our YouTube channel. You can check it out. But Tim and I did a road trip from Kelowna to Vancouver in a brand new Taycan to show that the vehicle could get from here to there in a single charge. We got there with 85 kilometers left. There was definitely some touch and go moments.
Yeah.
You know, I did do the speed limit the entire time and tried to regenerate the batteries on the way down the hill and stuff like that. But it was such a cool trip. It's been a great video. We've showcased it lots.
Yeah.
We knew each other before that through our mutual friend who's behind the camera, Donovan. But that's the first time we kind of ever collaborated on anything like that.
Yeah.
It was just a blast.
And I really appreciate you giving me that opportunity too, for real. Like coming from working retail to just like shooting cars in my spare time and then really trying to get good at it. Like you guys were the first dealership in town, first person with like access to a lot of cool cars to give me an opportunity like that. And that opened a lot of doors for me and gave me credibility as a photographer. So
I love it.
I got to shout you out
Yeah,
for
that's,
that. I really
that's super
appreciate
fun.
that.
You know, I mean, again, inside the dream. That's why we do the podcast. Like this is a dream, and I'm all about sharing it. There's young kids that come in here now. If I see a kid walk in with a camera, it's like, guys, get him whatever keys he wants. If he wants into something, that's same as if it was a young lady. It's just typically young men. Yeah. Whatever they want, because it's passion. You never know where it's going to go. Donovan actually shared a similar story on one of the episodes that him and I did together. So that's very, very cool. So you've done a lot since then.
Yes.
And I mean, I know you fairly well. I'd say that your trajectory from afar seems just incredible. Very, very exciting. You're not one to shy away from a challenge or a new opportunity, it would seem.
Yeah.
Can you, I guess, maybe just share with me and us a little bit about your journey, where you've come from? I know you've worked at another automotive dealership and then transitioned into some other things. I don't want to say bigger and better, but maybe some new stuff.
Yeah. So like kind of where the whole journey has gone, you mean? Like just
well, you were working at August,
Yeah.
doing a lot of their content for quite a while. Did an amazing job. They've got an out of this world showroom, just an incredible business model, supplying all sorts of exciting luxury
got some
vehicles
cool
all
toys
around
there.
North America, maybe even the world. And now you've transitioned into a new venture, supporting a good friend and now kind of a colleague of yours. And I'm very interested in that.
Yeah, so I worked at the dealership for 4 years. That was always like a dream job. You know, they offered it to me and I was like, I can't say no to this. Especially at the time I was doing just random shoots for people in town to pay my bills, because obviously I got laid off from my old job at a light factory from COVID. And then I was like, I need to pay my bills. Like, what am I going to do? And I didn't want to get another job. I was like, I don't want to work for someone and like do the mundane clock in, clock out and work on my dream after. And I had built up a decent enough network that I could sustain myself and pay my bills. And then I was like, shoot, like when fall and winter come, I'm not bringing in any money. Like, what am I going to do? So yeah, they offered me a job in late August, early September. Worked there for 4 years, had a blast, nothing but amazing people, a lot of good memories there. But after the 4 years, it was kind of like driven every car. I've met a bunch of awesome people in town, and it felt like I was rising, got the job, kept going up, and then it just like flatlined. I was like, I don't feel fulfilled at the end of the day anymore. You know, it was fun for a while, but like as far as providing real value to people, I guess maybe my priorities shifted over time. Like I wanted to do the cool, drive supercars, go fast, make lots of noise, have fun stuff. But then,
Absolutely.
you know, that's only fun for so long. And then you have almost like an existential crisis or like a spiritual journey you have to go on to figure out.
Gone through it a couple times.
Yeah, man, like it's a tough thing. And
Very hard.
that was a hard job to leave too.
Yep.
Because I'd worked so hard and, you know, I finally got it. And then I was like, I met this guy, his name was Jeremy, this blonde kid. I saw him at the gym. And I had a fitness coach at the time, and Jeremy was also one of his clients. So this was probably 2022. And he's like, hey, one of my buddies and client wants to come in and work out with us. Do you mind if he joins? And I was like, bring him in. So we ended up chatting. Turns out we had a lot of things in common. Just another gym bro, loves cars, loves shooting guns, loves having a good time and just like doing fun stuff. And so we ended up working out at the gym for a year and a half, 2 years. And then his business started taking off. And to be honest, I didn't even know what he did. I knew he had an online business, and he started showing me screenshots at the gym of like absurd numbers. Like he would make that money before we were done our workout at 7 a.m. I'm like, dude, it takes me 6 months to make that. You made that this morning before we're done working out? And I was like, hey, this dude's doing something. I need to know what it is. So found out he's an online business coach. So, you know, there's fitness coaches, there's XYZ coaches, whatever, you name it. He helps those people scale their businesses, and he's very good at it. And I was like, I want to be a part of this, but I don't know how. Like, I don't really know what I can do for this guy. Like, I'm not business savvy. I'm not like a super genius in the online space. And like, I mean, being a self-employed photographer, you'd think, good with business, good with technology, and those are like the two things I'm not great at.
You're just good with making the connections.
Exactly, yeah. And that's changed over time. Obviously,
Of
I've had to put the work in to grow and actually like provide value. But he bought a Lamborghini Urus, and he's like, hey, I just got this Lambo. Do you want to do a vlog for the day and come out and shoot it? And I was like, dude, obviously. Like, so we ended up doing a bunch of videos with it, and he was really happy with how they turned out. Fast forward maybe 6 months, he needed a full-time content guy. And that was like, I think almost to the day, 4 years at August. And I had this hard decision to make. He was like, I need a full-time content guy. I'm hosting a client retreat in Marbella, Spain, in a $40 million villa on the Golden Mile. And I was like, oh my God, you want to invite me to that? He's like, yeah, I want you to shoot the whole thing. I had already taken my 2-week vacation at August. So it was like, I either have to quit to go with him or I have to say no. And I sat on that for like probably a month, maybe 3 weeks, up until the day where it was like 2 weeks before the trip. And I was like, if I don't give my notice today, I'm not going to give August enough time, and I'm not going to bail. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm giving you 5 days notice, see ya. So I was like, I have to make a decision today. I remember I walked in and I was having computer issues, and I just was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I need to change. I need to do something different. And like you said, I'm not one to shy away from a challenge or putting myself in an uncomfortable position to grow. Like, that's kind of what I've had to do year after year to get where I'm at. And I was like, you know what? Let's do it. I called Jeremy. I was like, I'm in. I'm coming to Marbella. Get me a ticket. And that was a hard conversation. I was like shaking going into Mike's office to tell him. I was like, dude, I'm taking another job opportunity. Appreciate everything you did. And so that was almost a year ago now. That was in September. So we're in obviously end of June here.
Yeah.
And I've learned so much from being around those people. Like I told you earlier, I had never left Canada before that. since then we've been to Spain, Scottsdale, California, Texas, like Colorado. Like we just traveled all over. We're going back to Europe, I'm sure, in the fall. So it's been very cool. And then in that process, I've kind of discovered that I enjoy teaching people how to do what I do, because I didn't have someone like me. Like, keep in mind, this is 2018, 2019 when I was like learning all this stuff, and there wasn't a lot of resources on the internet for it. YouTube, at least in the automotive photography space, wasn't like popping off. So I had to do a lot of digging, man. It took me probably 3 years to get really good at this. And I'm like, if I can teach people to do that in 3 months as opposed to 3 years, there's value there. Like, there's people are going to pay, even if it's not that much money. There's a lot of volume. There's a lot of people want to be automotive photographers now. So I've been putting together a program teaching people how to do what I do. And we're on a few iterations. I've done a few tests in the past, had some people come through, kind of see what I can teach them, but you let them in for free, they don't do anything. Like, the more you pay, the more you pay attention.
It's absolutely true. Yeah, no, it's absolutely true. Especially some of my coaching, but I don't pay a lot for it. I don't put a lot into it. When it's very expensive, I'm like, well, you got to take care of that. That's what is seemingly a great connection with Jeremy and what he's offering and what you're supporting him with. And then what you're trying to do on your own that he can then support you with on his tools, not to mention just the residual knowledge and learning that you would have as you go through being around him and being around those people.
Yeah.
What a fun story. So I follow you on Instagram, so I've seen lots of your editing videos and that sort of thing. Where is it? What is it like? Tell us about that. Where can people find that? What does that look like?
So right now, it's hosted on School, so the online learning platform, but it's not live at the moment.
Okay.
So whenever, depending on when this video goes out, it's probably going to be pumping out, I would say, mid-August.
Okay, that's probably when we're going to launch this, so that's perfect.
Perfect, yeah. So on my Instagram bio, I'm going to have it in the little link button there. So anyone want to go check it out, if you want to learn how to shoot cars, definitely check that out.
We'll put your link in the box, so it's nice and easy for them.
Yeah, appreciate that, yeah. And man, the way I see it, when I was learning this stuff, there was a lot of gatekeeping. I would see really cool stuff, and I would DM these people like, how do you do this? And they would leave me on red, or they would say, I learned this, I don't want to give it out. I'm like, this is stupid. Like, if one person gets better, we all get better. Like, what's the saying? A rising tide lifts all boats. So if the average automotive photographer can get better, it forces everybody to get better. And then at the end of the day, you're going to have happier clients.
Absolutely.
Right? So if we can kind of raise the standard of this whole industry and get people better, like, dude, this has changed my life. Like, picking up a camera and shooting cars literally changed my life.
That's incredible. Donovan actually in the episode that him and I did spoke about gatekeeping. So it's funny that I know you guys are pretty close just within that kind of industry, that space. Has that gotten better now over time, just with the way that information's shared, or is there still a lot of people that gatekeep connections and tips and tricks and that sort of thing?
It definitely has gotten better.
Yeah.
I will say there's a few guys who are doing it really big. One guy in particular out in Australia, he's crushing it. And I'm kind of following in his footsteps as far as this side of my business goes.
Yeah.
The whole learning and teaching people side. But it definitely has, I think he in particular has kind of developed a community of people who share their secrets.
Okay.
Like I've been doing this professionally for 6 years now, and I still learn new stuff all the time. Like, it's one of those things that it's not like you just know everything and then you're done.
New technology, I'm sure, too. Just everything keeps changing. Like you say, you keep stacking on what you know on top of each other, and it comes out with a pretty great product, improved all the time.
Exactly. And creativity is not something that is cut and dry. It's very moldable, and like your creative vision and your perspectives change over time. Like, as I've gotten older, my photography style has changed because of how my view on the world has changed, and how you see different things. And as far as the technical aspect, shutter speed, aperture, ISO, like that stuff it's a constant. But once you learn the fundamentals, you can then apply your own creative style to it. And that's the thing that's ever changing. So I think seeing a lot of people share their insider secrets, if you will, really help shift people's perspective and their creative vision to then, explore different parts of their creativity. And it's just so cool, like being able to express yourself. And it's kind of weird, like, saying that, because I used to hear people, I express myself through my art. And I was like, what do you mean? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah. And like, to say I express myself through taking pictures of cars, to someone who doesn't understand, they're like, The hell does that mean?
I'm around it enough that I get it, but
Yeah.
5 years ago, I'm like, what the hell does that mean?
Yeah, like, what are you talking about?
Before we wrap up, I got to ask, is there a car? Is there the car that you have shot? And or is there a car that you have to one day shoot?
100%. The car, in my opinion, I tell people this all the time. Like, we had the client retreat at August the other day. They got a showroom, a sea of supercars. And I told every single person there, the 991.2 GT3 RS is the best car that was ever made.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
It's, I think, the best looking car, damn near the best sounding. I'm 6'3", so I don't fit in Lamborghinis very well. I fit perfectly in that car. I've driven probably 5 or 6 of them at this point, and every time I get in it, I'm like, oh, this is the car. They had one at the showroom, and every morning I would get in that car and just like imagine, like,
I walked
I'm
around
in
the
my
corner, one of
driveway.
my sales guys was in his dream car the other day. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, dude, it's so good. There's room for luggage in the front and behind the seats. Obviously, if you don't get the carbon buckets or a cage, but like, I love the 992 3RS, like, incredible. I shot one yesterday morning.
Yeah.
But as far as usability goes, like, when I buy the 3RS, I'm taking it, I'm gonna mile that thing out. Like, I want to drive it so much that I need to put a new engine in.
Good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Get one with the CPO. We'll set you up.
yeah, there
Get
you
it through
go.
us.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But yeah, the 2019 GT3 RS is, I think, the best.
Amazing.
car.
I did not think that was going to be it.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to say you've driven, but you've seen them all.
I've driven
especially
every car
working
you
at
can think
August.
of.
Like,
Yeah.
you've seen them all. They're all coming through there.
Yeah.
Whatever brand that is.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Is there one that is the kind of the white whale? Like, is there one that you want to check off the list one day that you haven't got a chance to see, touch, and feel?
2.
Okay.
Ferrari F40.
Yep.
McLaren P1.
Yeah. And the McLaren what, sorry?
P1.
Okay.
Yeah. I've shot a Senna. Shot Pistas, SVJs. Shot a Reventon. But the P1 is so elusive. Apparently, there's one in town here.
Really?
I've heard through a few people, it just sits in a garage and there's a cover over it, and you'll never know. The dude never drives it. It just
Well,
appreciates.
if I ever find out, you'll be my first call.
Please let me know.
Yeah, you'll be my
Yeah.
first call.
And there's a guy in Vancouver who just picked up a beautiful F40. So we're in talks right now to try
There you
to
go.
figure that out, and I can get out there and shoot that.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to join me. I was excited to sit down with you. I mean, I wish you all the best, but I have absolutely no doubts. When you say when I own the GT3 RS, like, I just love to hear that stuff. I have no doubts that you will achieve and overachieve everything that you're trying to. I've kind of watched you from afar for a long time. I've been very impressed with your growth, for kind of the fitness stuff that you're doing. We didn't talk about it today, but just everything. Lots of inspiration there. I think a lot of you, and I have no doubt that you're going to achieve everything that you want to.
Appreciate that, man.
You bet.
Thanks for having me
Of
on.
course, bud. Thanks so much for watching, guys. As always, if you enjoyed the episode, please like it, share with your friends, and please subscribe to the Porsche Center Kelowna YouTube channel. It makes a big difference for us. You can find the drive that Timmy and I did back in 2021 of us taking the Taycan down to Vancouver. So again, thanks so much, and until next time, have a great day.
Subscribe.